Okay, I guess I'm live, guys. Yeah, so welcome everyone. So
Hello.
it's been hello.
Hey,
So hey, so it has been a while since I last streamed. So today actually I have my two friends over here, Nate as well as Nawel. So why are we here? So today we basically want to talk a bit on my friend's new campaign, Hexwood. Okay, it's a comic book project of his. They did all the stuff. So Hexwood, Dust, and Ashes by Nate. And then, of course, my friend over here now also has a graphic novel 499. There's also currently, is it funding? No, it ended, is it? Did it end?
Uh,
No. It's still there. It's still there. It's still there.
yeah, it's in demand.
Yeah. So, but today the focus is of course the newly launched campaign over here, Hexwood by my friend Nate. So, just a little bit of background. Okay, Nate. We got to know each other because I'm also doing my own comic book project, and Nate is actually a writer that I got to know through Nawel. Nawel will also be involved in my project as well. Basically, it's a Nerf morning kind of inspired project called Modded. Yeah, so that's how we get to meet. So both of them are writers, and Nawal is actually an artist as well as he'll be coloring for my book as well. So now, before we start, all right, okay, I prepare something to sort of kickstart our brain a little bit. So over here at my side at Singapore is actually morning. I just woke up actually, so my engine is not up. And over there, US, I think is going to be evening time, probably after dinner, something like that, right? So have food in the stomach, you feel a little bit tired, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So to kickstart it, okay, I have like a 5 or 6 minute kind of commercial that I saw. It's a few years old commercial, 2 to 3 years, and it's from Japan.
Okay.
Okay, but I'm not showing like any other commercial. This commercial, just a little bit background. It was split into like 12 parts, and then there's a story behind it. So now we have two writers. Okay, writer of Hexwood, the campaign that we're looking at, as well as Noel is also a writer. So I just want to see how these two guys react to this commercial. Right. So let me just
hi.
add it
Okay.
in.
Let's play it.
That's yeah. So let me just let me find a good. Yeah, hold on. Okay. Okay, so it's like 6 minutes. Let's go. Let me know whether you hear the audio or not.
I do.
Yeah, it's coming through.
組咲いてる時の顔が好き。
そう
もっと長く見てたいな。
long, long
Okay, so that is the first part of the commercial. Now, why am I bringing this up, right? No, like I said, there's like a 12-part series, and this whole thing is like I want y'all because you're writers, so maybe you can talk a little bit of the storytelling of this commercial. Then we'll talk about Hexwood, the project, and how the storytelling of Hexwood. Right? Let's go for part two.
わあ、キリンさんだ。見て、こっちはゾウさんだ。
ちーちゃんは長いのが好きなんだね。
別に意識してるわけじゃないけど。
気のせいか。long, 前にも言ったね、あの長い人。
Now, you'll get more and more spicy. So let's go. This is the third part.
すごいタイミング。
サインお願いします。ちーちゃん、聞こえてる？
届いたよ。ありがとう。
マンゴー味珍しいからたくさん買ったんだ。今度2人で食べようね。ちーちゃん、サケル君。
Okay, now this commercial is like, man, the storytelling so far so good. Guys.
Yeah.
All right. And by the way, just a little bit of spoiler, and the ending is also something to to ponder about. Okay, let's go. Next part.
それ触ってみてもいいですか？
どうぞ。
長い。これどうやって咲くんですか？
こんな風に。すいません。
あ
She's got some chompers on her there.
長い酒。
Now, Nate.
Long,
Okay, let's
long, man.
My
電話出ないから心配になって。
ちょっと寝込んでて。
これ持ってきたから一緒に食べよ
今日は。ちょっと待って、今はダメ。
あいつが来てたんだ。
Oh no.
長い酒。
じいちゃん、どうして俺じゃなくてこいつなんだよ。
それは。
ああ、そうかい。長けりゃいいのかい。ビロービロー。
Oh no.
she faked.
黙っててごめん。
Oh no.
実は私もう長くないの。ものを見ると安心できるの。
And now we are getting into the more into the story. Now, guys, are you invested in the character? Who are you rooting for?
どうしてそんな猿芝居したの？
Okay, side
メ
character
ンタ
now.
ルするのチーの悪い癖だよ。
だって長いんだもん。
長さに騙されてんじゃねえよ。え？避けるグミ一袋並べていくと、ほら同じ長さになるの。
Plot twist. They are the same length.
安いようにわざわざ切ってあるんだよ。
I like that she just has this board ready to go. She's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what?
Presentation time. Okay.
何？
プロポーズってどんな風にされたい？
え？
正直に言ってごらん。
フラッシュモブは嫌かな。なんかこっぱずかしいし、フラッシュモブ以外で。
じいちゃん、僕と結婚。
Oh man.
耳長。
避けるグミたい。長い
Okay, so now you know how many years ago was this commercial. It's like still the flash mod kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
じいちゃん。
Okay.
ダメ。
Every series have a week episode. I think this is the week episode of this advertisement.
どちらまで。 は？
I was gonna say this guy has a lot of careers.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is almost a finale already. So get ready, guys. Finale. Last book.
Boy, the suspense.
Yeah, the suspense.
じゃねえぞ、はたぼうよ。
He's got tails.
避けるグミたい。長い避ける。
Uh-oh.
Okay, so get ready. Last episode, last one. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
There will be a great conclusion coming up.
私、長い間あなたのこと待ってたの。トールさんごめんなさい。私のことは忘れて。分かったでしょ？私はひどい女なの。
ああ、もうやだ。どうしていつも俺の前に払われるんだよ。
一目見た時から君のことが。
Uh-oh.
long man.
Wow.
Wow.
トル君、
俺嘘だろ。
高いなのにどうして
僕らはきっと分かり合える。触ってみてもいいですか？みんな
Look at the girl.
避ける分ど
Very
All right.
strange series.
That's
Now,
awesome.
guys. Now the most important question is, which one will we go for? The long
Yeah.
man or the short one?
Yeah.
If you ever-
I wish there were more commercials like that where it's like a series. That I don't
Yeah.
know. There's been here and there. There's been some
Yeah.
stuff like that, but that one was hilarious.
All right,
Yeah.
guys. So now that our brains are all warm up now.
That
So,
one really
yeah,
warms up your brain.
So just now the commercial is basically, I thought the storytelling is pretty awesome. You have a build up and everything. And today we are celebrating my friend's launch of his campaign Hexwood. I believe he has been working on it for a long time, and he finally pushed it out, and then he did it all by himself. I still remember when he was like working on drawing. I think this is like a 85 page. He was like, should I do it myself, and then should I go start the drawing and not wait for anything? Let's get it going. And he did it, and every day he set himself a target. I still saw him posting every now and then all his artwork, like day after day. So without further ado, let's have Nate talk a little bit, just a little bit first, and then later on I'll show the so-called video. Or Nate, do you prefer me to show the video first?
Yeah, go ahead and run the video
Okay.
first and talk
Okay.
a little bit about it.
Okay, let me bring it up. It's long, man.
Long,
Oh,
man.
Someone needs to learn to play the saxophone just to play that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay. Can we see? Let me know if you can hear the audio.
There ain't much, about the town of
Yes.
Hexwood. Scrub
Audio,
grass,
yes.
Yeah, it's coming through.
trees, a couple of mines. A handful of stubborn people eke out a living digging magic from the ground, or cling to the sky train station like a lifeline. It's a hard life, but it's home. Plenty of danger out in the wilds here. Son of braves, wild magic, train robbers. But there are darker things at play. Old wounds smolder. A handful stand between the town and chaos. Young and old, stranger and friend. But the West is full of tinder. A single spark is all it takes to turn all they've built to dust and ashes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Okay. Let me change the layout for a bit so that while Nate is talking, I can show some of his stuff. All right. Okay. Let me make sure everything is okay. Yep. So, guys, as you can see over here, I put down on the left-hand side the so-called tiers that is in his campaign. So while Nate is talking, you can take a look at the tier as well. I think there are like 4 tiers to go for. And I remember when Nate talked to us about this story, he mentioned it as a Western kind of gold rush, but with magic, and not gold, but gems or rubies, right, Nate?
Yeah.
Okay. So now
Yeah.
Is
let's
it called
hear
a
the
weird Western? Is that?
Yeah,
like
that's like the broad genre name. It's there's like a whole bunch of subdivisions. So yeah,
Cool.
but yeah, it's basically a weird Western.
Nice.
yeah, Nate, shall we hear the pitch?
Okay, yeah. So Hexwood is a simple tale of magic and vengeance in the Colombian West. It focuses on Sheriff Mark Pendleton of the town of Hexwood, and he finds a dead body in town, and he has to track down the people who are responsible for the murder and try and make sure no one else dies. Spoiler alert: he's not entirely successful, and then he has to find the people responsible and bring them to justice. So it's a pretty simple story, but there are shades of bigger goings on here. You can see as Tungsten is scrolling along some of the early pages of the story, which I've tried my hand at lettering. As the campaign says, the lettering is not final. I know there's a couple of typos in there that I'll need to iron out before I send the print file off. But yeah, that will give you an idea of the basic setup and the basic art style. I actually need to put the raw art of a couple of the later pages up on the campaign, I think, because I do feel like I improved a lot while I was drawing this. So these pages are not necessarily representative of the kind of art you're going to see later on.
That's always the way it goes. That's cool though. That's like doing these projects is one way that we get better. Though I think there was a series where I saw it was ridiculous to from the beginning to the end, but it was what's it? They got put on Netflix and stuff. It's the one where Blame. Do you guys know Blame?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I've heard of it. I haven't read or watched it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like the early art, he's just like a college kid or something, just making this book, and then cut to like 300 pages later, and he's like really a master or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Nate, so the part whereby you say is the story about a gold rush, and then it involve magic. How does magic come into play in your story, and what's this so-called rush that these people are going to? And then
Okay, so one of the magic, the ways magic works in the setting is there are rocks called sulfurite, and it's basically like a battery, except it holds fire. And in this world, fire is inherently magical. So it's basically a rock that holds magic in it. And you can like recharge it just by throwing it in your campfire at night. So magic is really convenient for them. But sulfurite is kind of rare. So the town of Hexwood actually sits on some major veins of sulfurite. So people are just there kind of like mining it, so they're mining magic rocks instead of gold. And the person who they find dead actually is the owner of a sulfurite mine. So like, okay, well, this guy's dead. Is somebody trying to steal his mine, and take all the money out of it? Or since it's also like not just a mine with a valuable mineral in it, sulfurite is also potentially very magical. Maybe they have a magical plot they're trying to do. At the end of the trailer there, you saw the lead villain, and he is, consorting with otherworldly forces. So is there something sinister behind that? There's a lot of things that could be going on here, and the sheriff and his deputies and a couple of his friends, they have to work it all out. And in the process, there's a lot of bad things that happen in the town of Hexwood. And so the thrust of the story is trying to catch the leader of the gang that murdered Sam Jenkins, the miner, and figuring out what he's trying to do. So yeah, that's the basic conflict of the story, and not all of it is going to play out in the first volume, but I hope to at least give a satisfying conclusion in case I can never get any more of this done. So
cool.
Where is the part whereby the train robbers are somewhere in the video? I think you say train robbers. Where does it come in?
Yeah. Well, up until this point, Frank has mostly robbed trains. That's kind of where he's made his infamy.
Yeah. Now you're saying something.
Yeah. What was the origin of this story? I think you've told me before, but I don't quite remember. It was like started as like a contest or something, right? Or
yeah. So I follow the head designer of Magic the Gathering, and he was running this contest, or I guess Wizards, the people who actually own Magic the Gathering, was running a contest to hire a new designer, and the designers had to make cards for the game and also build a world for those cards to kind of inhabit, right? And one of the guys built this world where it was all about basically a magic gold rush. There were magic rocks. People were digging them up. He got knocked out of the contest fairly early, so the story of that world wasn't really developed, but it stuck with me. I spent a lot of time thinking about how I would tell that kind of a story, and Hexwood is partially an outgrowth of that. And also, I read a historical book that was kind of chronicling some of the big cattle ranches that existed out west. This was a while ago, long before I was even thinking about Hexwood, actually. And one of the things that kind of stuck with me from that is there was some ranches that were Union ranches, and there were some ranches that were kind of Confederate ranches. So if you were a veteran from the American Civil War, you couldn't go to a ranch that was kind of mostly from the other side. That was not, you either weren't going to work there, or if they found out about it, you could get in a lot of trouble. And I thought it was really interesting that even though the American Civil War was like over for like 12 years at that point, there were still these people who were kind of, they hadn't made their peace with that. They were still kind of fighting the war in their own way. And that idea stuck with me. And as you start to, not so much in the first part of this story, but as you start to unspool what's going on with Frank and what some of his goals are, I worked a lot of those themes into who he is, his motivation as a villain, and also Mark's motivation as the hero of the story. And I wanted to kind of work some of my thoughts on that into the story.
Now I like
Cool.
this image over here. So this is one of the images that caught my eye. It's pretty interesting. And what's going on over here? We can also see something big is coming. Is this? Oh,
Yep.
yeah, and a few more. So over here and here, what's going on over here? This image really caught my attention when I scroll through all the artworks that you did on day-to-day basis, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the character in the foreground is Frank. He's the villain, and this is him summoning. Basically, this is basically where he goes from being a fairly normal person to essentially a person with superpowers. So he's summoning an aspect of the primeval fire. So like when you go. The basics of their magic system is the magic rocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as you go up, it builds into, there are bigger and bigger ways to tap into magic. And one of the biggest and the most dangerous is what they call the first elements. And the first element for fire is the primeval fire. And there's a whole bunch of different ways to tap into it. And Frank is basically conjuring one of them, and he's going to take it into himself. And later in the story, you'll see him fighting, and he'll just sprout extra arms to fight with, because as you can see, that thing has a lot of them.
Yep.
And he will eventually get even more powers from that. And as he grows more powerful, the threat he poses to the town of Hexwood becomes more dire. And yeah, that's one of the hurdles that Mark and his Death Eaters are going to have to overcome as the story goes on.
Yeah, that's badass. And what do they have in their defense? Do they just have basic magic kind of stuff?
To a certain extent. So Mark is actually a druid, which is can think of it as an old, almost obsolete form of magic. So he knows a lot about magic theory, but he doesn't have access to anything as powerful as the first elements. And we do see some of his powers towards the end of the story. They're kind of integral to the climax, so I'm not going to talk too much about them, but you will see what he can do. Like he can do some basic tricks, like he can track people via magic. And He can ward trees. Like one of the elements that doesn't come up a whole lot in here because they're in basically the middle of a desert, is that when trees get big enough, they actually become aware. Like they'll pull up their roots and they'll wander around.
Oh, okay.
They're not smart. Like they have about the intelligence of an animal, like a dog or a cow.
Probably
But they
smarter
are
than me already.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not smart, but they don't like people very much, so they can be very dangerous. And druids kind of like they got their prestige because they could keep trees from hurting people. So that's one of their kinds of magic too.
Cool. That's badass. Is like some of that world building, is that like lore that's been around that you're appropriating, or did you come up with that on your own?
A little of it is lore that I appropriated. Obviously, druids are a real thing. They exist in England. In the world of Hexwood, they come out of what they call the Great Henges. Big stone circles, and Stonehenge is actually one of them. Like it's still a religious site that's in use in England. So I appropriated a little bit of that.
Cool.
But a lot of the druids' basic magical powers are just stuff I made up to kind of play into the theme of, people think of druids as nature magic. So I kind of just built into that theme.
Yeah, that's cool. So you mentioned like the post-Civil War. Is this like an alternate Earth, like with the Earth history, like there was a Civil War in this world?
Yeah, it's an alternate Earth, but the history is not really very similar to anything we know. Like there was, they live in Colombia, which is America kind of by another name, but the amount of territory. Oh, hey, thanks, El Gargoyle. I appreciate your backing. I didn't see that.
Thanks, El Garg.
Yeah,
Number 5. All right. Good deal. But yeah, so there was a war in the nation of Colombia. There was a civil war. I made it about different issues. In fact, it kind of involves Mark and the Druidic Order. Like they were a major player in Colombia for a while, and then people got pissed at them, and there was a war. And then after the war, the Druids Order has pretty much been destroyed. So they're kind of a dying breed of magic user. So because I didn't want like any of the baggage that goes along with the American Civil War. I just wanted to throw all that out.
I've kind of thought that before too, because it's like in some ways so ripe to do a Western. And there's been a few in the past. There's a couple of Clint Eastwood ones that take place during the Civil War, but it's like it's too hard to deal with it or whatever. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. And like if you're going to, I kind of feel like if you're going to make that a big part of your Western, it has to be almost the sole focus. It's such a big topic. It will just naturally kind of take over your story. And I knew I didn't want that. So I decided not to run in that direction.
Yeah.
I have a few questions as well just now.
Sure.
I think, let me just bring up my just now the photo again. Not this one. Hold on. Yeah. So one. Okay, who are these two guys? And it seems like you have a thing for like big sword. Do they not use gun?
long.
Yeah.
No one else understands me. Yeah, Nate, explain yourself. What is this long sword doing over here? And who are these two guys? This
guy on the left, this is Al Cook, and he's actually the foreman of one of the mines. And this guy on the right is Yudeng Han, and he's actually one of Sheriff Pendleton's 2 deputies. So Mark and Al know each other pretty well. Whoa. That was interesting.
Magic.
You need the Pokemon battle music for that.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
is it,
Carry
I
on,
don't
carry
know
on,
what's
Nate.
going on there.
Carry on.
So yeah, Mark has shown up with a posse here, at least part of one, and he's here to arrest Frank. And oh boy, your
But
screen
my
is
freaking okay, maybe I open up too many screens. Let me just okay. I think you'll be better now. I think I open
okay.
up too many. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah,
Oh no.
and as wow.
Okay, okay. Let me try to sort things out. You just keep carry on. Let me
I
just
think
sort
your
things-
computer has epilepsy, Tungsten.
No, they're telling you they're too excited.
Okay, okay, that's acceptable.
It's the
Um,
magic.
right. So yeah, those three together are kind of like the heroic trio for the story. Um,
Mhm.
so like Mark is the protagonist, and then Yudeng and Al are his two closest allies. So you're going to see them a fair amount. As for the swords, one of the upshots of having magic in their world is that they have kind of technology, but it's developed along very different lines. And they just have swords that you can see. You can shoot fire blast with them. So they never developed like a gun per se. Instead, they just, if you could have a sword and a gun together, wouldn't you pick a sword and a gun together? I mean, the armies used bayonets until like World War II. So obviously,
Mm.
it's very beneficial to have the two together. So I figured they would just never separate them, and they just have these swords and knives and spears that they can use to, blast each other with fire and also fight each other hand to hand with.
Mm.
Yeah. Cool.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And now on the next question. Is there any female inside? I don't see
No,
any.
no,
Oh no! What happened to the
he's
long
just
long man? So it's
he's
really
just
the
a dude with
long
long
man.
hair. Yeah.
So it's all
No, if
long long man.
yeah. He's also in his own way a long man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, guys. So remember to check it out. Okay, the link is in the description to my friends. Camping both Nate and Nava's camping are all in the description. So remember to really go and check it out. Give my friends some support. Yeah. So actually, I think you also have a blog site. Is it? It's like
What?
is this the one? Your blog site? Are you still maintaining
Yes,
maintaining?
yes.
Yes, yes, yes. So I also put the site to this. I think Nate has been working on this for how many years already, or how long has been
Oh
this
gosh, I
project?
want to say
Yeah,
8 years.
8 years, 8 years, 8 years of writing, and finally, I think you started only working on drawing like this. I think last year during COVID or something like that, right? Yeah, I remember it's like every
Yeah.
day you posted one something.
I
Cool.
I had done like 5 or 6 pages before the lockdown started. And
Mm.
then the lockdown started. I was like, well, might as well just work on this.
Nice. How did you get to become a good writer? Like,
Yeah.
did you write a lot in your 20s or college or anything? Or
Yeah, it was just writing lots. Reading lots, of course, that helps too. Um, those two together are a big part of what helped me develop. But I think I really took off when I started getting people who would give me actual feedback. And it's hard to do. Like I joined a couple of writers groups
Mm-hmm.
that like met for 3 or 4 months, a couple times a month, and then just sort of fell apart. And yeah, I did that a couple times. Writers groups never really worked out for me. I'm sorry to say. But I started blogging, and I started getting people who would occasionally talk to me about my blog. And I learned that I know that for me as a writer, I really want to be told when I'm doing something stupid or I'm doing something bad. Most people won't tell you that. So what I learned to do is I learned to start paying attention to what people really liked.
Ah.
And when they told me I was doing something good, I would have to go back and pick it apart and figure out, okay, what what did I do that was good here, and I would try doing more of that.
Yeah,
And then
or the thing you think they're gonna like, they don't mention that, and you're like, why didn't they like that one? And
right, yeah, and that's kind of frustrating about trying to go off that kind of feedback. But a lot of times that's all I could get. So, yeah,
Yeah,
that's interesting. That's cool. I can kind of relate to that. And Hexwood, it feels like it has like a real steady genre hand. Like it uses whatever tropes it needs to use, but not really cliches. It's like it works in the world. It's like kind of has an anime feel to it a little bit, and like it's cool. Like it's cool that that trailer reminded me. I could picture like a version with like dramatic music and the voice of Vash the Stampede.
Yeah.
Guys, the only thing that I get to write checks to pay all my bills. So the only thing that I can write is checks. And man, they do give me a lot of feedback. It's not enough. There's never enough.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So guys, really going remember to check out all this. Yep. And I like the fact that it's also a pretty substantial kind of book. It's like 85 pages long, right? So I'm pretty sure it will be a quite a full story. And then Nate, what you mentioned that there is like going to be like a part 2. Is that going to be like 3, 4, 5? Like you have any future plan for this entire series? And then what's your idea about all this this thing? Yeah.
Right. I think Hexwood itself will be 3, possibly 4 parts. I do have like the whole story that I want to tell kind of sketched out on note cards right now. And then I don't know if I will. Oh dear, did we just lose Tungsten?
No.
He's still here.
I remove and put it back so that hopefully the flickering will go off.
Okay, I wasn't sure if like your computer just blew up or something.
That's it.
So yeah, I have a general idea for what I want to do with Hexwood, and like sequels possibly. But once I finish that story, I really do want to work on something else for a bit. So I have a follow-up project which I call Blue Collar Heroes that's on the back burner.
Okay.
Oh, cool. That's cool. So is your blog, is that like short fiction writing or parts of a novel or what?
I kind of alternate. So I'm doing essays right now, basically just like talking about stuff I've read or watched or stuff about writing, and I do probably about 3 months of that out of the year. And then the rest is fiction. My most recent fiction project was actually, it's called Fire Spinner, and it's set in the same world as Hexwood, actually.
Oh, cool.
Because when I was writing Hexwood, I had all these ideas about the world and about the people in it. And as I was writing the story, I'm like, this is never going to all fit in this story. So I wrote Fire Spinner as kind of like a novella to play off of that. And part of it was just because I wanted to work in like a the wandering gunslinger kind of character into the story of Hexwood. Never quite worked out.
Oh yeah. Oh, is that one completely written, that novella?
It is, yeah.
It, possibly for a future campaign, because it's maybe too late to add it to this one, but that would be cool to add a little print version of that for an extra like $15 or something.
That is an interesting idea.
Nate, just how many secrets are you keeping from us? And you're keeping all your writing to yourself, huh?
Yeah. Stop keeping it all secret.
Yeah. Hey, come on.
It's right there on the internet. You just need to go and look at it.
Oh, now it's our fault. Okay. Get you. All right. Okay. So basically, I also put the link to Nate's blog over there at the description as well. So I put all those like link. No, actually, in fact, we actually do kind of like live stream on three of our projects as well, either on Nava's channel or my channel. So I actually also created a playlist. So the other time I actually went back to watch our very first episode whereby I have Nawal on and Richard. I think Richard, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
On yeah. So that was like, oh my god, it's like 3 years ago. So I think we guys have we have sort of like met like almost coming to 3 years, guys. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Time
Yeah.
flies. That's crazy. I would
Time
not
flies.
guess that.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
1 year.
Precisely. I thought I'll end the relationship with Nawal sooner.
Yeah, you made it this
No,
long.
getting sick of him.
Now we can't go back. Now we're basically
not
married.
yeah. Now I long for the long
Right.
beer.
Yeah.
Tungsten is going to show up one day at Narwhal's house with a bouquet of gum.
Man.
Long.
Oh,
I'll be
I'll be
like,
there with a saxophone playing.
yeah.
I'll
be like,
They will be
like, can I touch it?
go ahead. Hey, family show.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. So guys, I think we covered most of the stuff. Let me just go through basically the perks a little bit. So because it's been like showing at the site, but I think it's good to like go through the perks a little bit. Hopefully I don't dox myself.
I have
Yes.
I have one more question for
Okay,
Nate.
sure.
So the art, it has a little bit of like maybe like a Mega Man feel to me. Like I don't know if you've seen like Mega Man art, but like it looks like it could almost be like that style. I wonder if you have are there specific influences that you're going for?
You know, now that you say it, I never consciously thought about Mega Man while I was drawing this, but I did. I don't know if you've ever heard of the band the Proto Men.
No.
Okay. They have this rock opera series that's based on Mega Man, and I remember I was kind of like doodling along to it for a while. So back when I was in college, so that may have influenced my art style subconsciously, because I was at the time I was like actually trying to draw Mega Man style. So I don't know, that could be an influence. I know that when I draw, especially the landscapes, I try for a Bill Watterson vibe, because you know how in Calvin and Hobbes, when he does those alien landscapes and they're like all those weird rock formations and trees in the background and stuff, man, I love that.
Yeah, he's so good. Yeah, and that's something, your use of ink, because this is inked traditionally, I think, right? Did you do it on 11 by 17 boards, or is it 8.5 by 11?
Nope, it's 11 by 17. Like here's a raw page.
Yeah, that's badass. Yeah, that your skill with that's really, really good. Like I love even the ink line textures there on their back and the ink wash.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
know,
what's black, what's gray, what's white, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I originally did not like the texturing that much, but as I got used to working in it, I realized you can put a lot of flavor into your images with that texturing. So I'm trying to be more intentional about it now, but at first it took a lot of getting used to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes I've noticed it looks weird if you do it over white. If you're doing like scratchy texturing on white, then it looks like jarring. But if you do it over a gray or a dark gray, then it looks really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the cover, you can kind of see some of that in the shadows on the sleeves there. I was experimenting with that, and you're right. It does play a lot better if you put some of that gray washing over it. Yeah. There's a lot there that I'm just starting to figure out.
Yeah, that's cool. It's fun when you make those discoveries too, and your style kind of like can get to hit these plateaus almost based on the discoveries or whatever, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go through some of the features, the perks, and Nick can go through with us. I think your campaign is pretty simple, only like a 5 or 4 tiers. So the the featured one, what will the backers be getting? $40.
Okay, yeah. Obviously, you'll be getting a copy of the book, which is currently going to be perfect bound, which is the high quality soft cover binding. So it's not like Staples or anything like that. And then you will get a copy of the wanted poster for Stovepipe Nick, who is the primary antagonist. Now, he's the one on the you see behind Mark on the cover there. Frank is the overall antagonist, but for the purposes of this book, Nick is the most important antagonist. So you'll get his wanted poster. So you and your friends and family will know what to look out for. If you happen to be walking the streets and you see a wanted man, you can always compare him to your poster, just to be sure. And finally, there will be a personalized sketch. So I will autograph the inside of the front cover, and I will sketch a character there. If you have a specific one that you saw on the preview pages you want, I will give backers at this perk level an opportunity to tell me. Otherwise, I will just sketch whatever character from the book I feel like sketching at the time.
I want the guy with the long sword.
Okay.
Long.
The longer the better. Okay. Book itself. Okay. So I think this is self-explanatory. The book itself. 85, just to remind, is a 85 page. So it's quite substantial. So I believe it's going to be now it's of course black and white, right? Yeah. So next one, book and poster.
Right. So this is that's just the book and the wanted poster with no sketch on the inside cover. I will autograph all books, and hopefully I'm not I don't think I'm in any danger of shooting myself in the foot by saying that, but I know some people have said that and then wound up autographing thousands of books, which there are worse things.
Yeah, you got to watch out for like carpal tunnel or whatever.
Right.
I'll do a stamp. Chinese have a seal, a carving seal. It's always made of. Okay, so I'll say that I'll make of jade, and then I'll carve. Then I'll put a red color thing and then chop. No, I think in Japan, they still use it as a signature, right? To sign official document, they still do that, the official seal. And then the Chinese emperor, they have like a big seal. So maybe I'll get that, and for my book, I'll chop. Okay,
there you go.
There you go. The last one, right? $40.
So this is a perk where that's just 2 copies of the book. So if you and a friend want to get a copy and you want to save a little on shipping, you can buy 2 copies at once. Or if you're one of those people who has, a copy that they read from and then a copy that sits on their bookshelf untouched in pristine condition, again, you can
cough.
that's how you can get 2 copies at a lower shipping charge, because it really shouldn't cost a whole lot more to ship 2 copies.
There you go. I think that is more or less the run through of my friend's Nate's campaign. I think it just launched a few days ago. So if you can give it a support, if you can't back the so-called the books, help to share on Twitter or retweet or things as such. That will go a long way. So hopefully, the indie comic book scene will grow. There are quite a fair bit of nowadays. I realize I back quite a few books and on Indiegogo, and I realize now it seems to be more buzzing with activities, and there are a lot of options out there. So hopefully, if you have never backed a book before, this can be your first, and then to many more to come. Guys, shall we sort of end the stream? And
let's do it.
All right.
Let's stream again, maybe next week, even on my channel, and promote it a little more too.
Yes, I will find I'll find a little bit more of crazy stuff to show you guys. So maybe before I go, so this is another campaign from my friend Nawel, $4.99. It's not $4.99. It's just 499 push up. Sometimes you feel like doing, and then yeah, go also check it out. It's very easy to find. Go to Indiegogo and just type in 499. The link is also in the description. It's doing pretty well right now. Oh, your perks, you only have like 2 types left. Wow, this is even simpler. No, I've been to campaigns that's like 20 over combination. My God, I also don't know which one to select.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Okay, I like simple stuff. All right, guys. Anything that you want to say to the audience? Maybe I'll just go big for Nawal first. Look at his pretty face.
No.
No, actually, I blowed it up so that I can spy on Nawal on the what's behind him. Go check out his room a
What's
little
in my
bit.
book
I'm like,
collection?
yeah, anything long behind. Always
Yeah,
check out
he's
big
got
one.
a pull cord there that looks pretty
Yeah,
long.
Yeah.
long. There's a long rope.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
noose.
Nawal, come.
The hate crime.
Anything you want to like share a little bit?
Oh, no, I'll just say goodbye to the chat and I'll be in touch on my channel. Talk to him next week and maybe with you guys we could stream.
Yeah. We should. We can talk about. Hey, by the way, I sort of have one idea. Since I know the long man actually inspired me. You guys want to try some snack from Singapore?
Oh yeah.
Singapore snacks? That could be
Actually, I saw-
dangerous.
yeah. Now, let it sink down for a week and let me know, man. You'll be, you can get some. Actually, I try to. Actually, I did.
Warning,
I
warning,
went to
Narwhal,
buy-
they eat dried squid there.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
You
I
mean
remember
dry
the
squid is
stream we did
something-
where you talked about the
Oh.
food.
Actually, I try to find.
There's like rotten egg, deliberately rotten egg or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually found some at Walmart as well. You know, things like salted fish skin. You want that?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
You're a brave man, Narwhal.
Yeah. Okay. Now it's up to it. Okay. I'll take a look at the supermarket and see what I can find. But I'll probably I'll ask for your address. Then you can eat it on screen.
Oh yeah, that'll be funny.
Yeah. Nate, anything you want to talk to my audience?
Sure. Thanks for watching. Whether you're watching live now in the chat or whether you're watching a replay, I hope you'll consider backing my project. I guarantee you will enjoy it.
Yes. Okay, so now my turn, right? So nobody will get to see my face, at least not yet. These 2 guys know how I look like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thanks everyone for dropping by. If you are still here, thanks a lot. And again, I hope you can support independent comic, and hopefully this scene will grow. And both my friends over here have some campaign. If you come back here, just share it, and I'll greatly appreciate that. Thanks for dropping by, and that's all, folks. So I'll see you guys next time. I'll end the broadcast.